Hello and welcome back to my channel. I wrote a pattern a few months ago for my Starbucks cups. I had seen a few patterns around and I was looking at them and I didn't see any that quite fit what I wanted. So I had just gotten an idea of what I needed and I went ahead and just kind of came up with my own, and I decided to share it with you. I found these really cute tags from angieandbrit.com. You can get half and half orders with the ones that say coffee and the ones that say coffee queen on them. And they come with the little clasps and they're really easy to take off and on. Come with a little screw. That, and you're going to need your, see if I can focus in there for you, the 3.5. It is, I promise, an E. Wow. That's why people do that. 3.5 E hook and 100% cotton yarn. And the reason you want to use that is because it's absorbent. If you use acrylic, everything's going to get soaking wet. And in the summertime, when your venti iced coffees start to melt, your hands are going to be soaked. And also these are really washable and durable, and so it just really works best with 100% cotton. I made this one with the Hobby Lobby's, I think it's, I love this cotton yarn, and it's actually, it's a number 4, but it's actually pretty thin, as well as the mainstays 100% cotton yarn. And that's what I'm going to do today's cozy with. And I actually really like this yarn. It's super soft, and it is actually pretty thin as well. So with this pattern, you won't use as many rows as if you would use the 100% cotton sugar and cream or the peaches and cream. Since this is a little bit thicker, you'll use less rows. So just kind of be mindful of that depending on which yarn you're using. It helps to have a cup handy, you know, just for gauge and measurements. But I did measure ahead of time, and from the bottom to the top, the very last finishing round is about 6 3/4 inches. So if you don't have a cup, grab a ruler and at least work to that length. That way you can get an idea that's how long it's going to have to be. All right, so let's get started. Let me grab my pattern here because I haven't memorized yet. All right. I do recommend ordering these because these are absolutely adorable, especially if you're going to be selling them. I've already sold quite a few on Etsy, and I've given out quite a few for Christmas gifts. So today's January 1st, so Happy New Year. Good way to start the new year. All right, so I'm not going to break it down. We'll just assume that everybody knows how to do magic rings and things like that. So we'll start now with the magic ring. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to single crochet 6. All right, tighten that up. Let's zoom in a little bit. All right, and just so I don't sound like a broken record, the beginning of, or at the end of each round, you're going to slip stitch into your first chain that you've made, and then begin each round with the chain 1, okay? That way, you know, I don't have to repeat myself. I'm sure you guys rather, you know, not hear that every single time. All right, so now we are going to put, oh, and also too, each stitch that you start will be made in the same stitch as your chain one. So for our first stitch, we're going to put 2 single crochets in the first stitch, and then 2 single crochets or an increase in each stitch around. And then by the time you're done, you will have 12 single crochets. Yeah, maybe. And one thing I usually do that I completely forgot to do is I usually work this into my round as I go, just because I don't like having to weave in my ends. So any chance I get to work it in, I do. All right. So for round 3, we're going to put a single crochet in our first stitch, followed by an increase in the next stitch, then a single in the next stitch, followed by another increase, a single, then an increase, and follow that pattern all the way around. You'll end with an increase, and you should have made 18 single crochets. Okay, round 4, make a single crochet in your first stitch, a single crochet in the next stitch, followed by an increase, then a single crochet in the next 2 stitches, followed by an increase, and then follow that pattern all the way around. So single, single, increase. And sometimes you goof, and that's fine. I do all the time. Okay, you should have 24 stitches at the end of round 4. All right, round 5. You're going to single crochet in your first 3 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, followed by an increase, then work 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, followed by an increase. We're going to follow that pattern all the way around. 1, 2, 3, increase. And you should have 30 single crochets at the end of this round. Okay, round 6. We're going to work 4 single crochets in the first 4 stitches. I take that back, I worded that wrong. Yeah. Work a single crochet in the first 4 stitches, there we go. Followed by an increase. We have a single crochet in the next 4 stitches. Followed by an increase. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you should have 36 single crochets at the end of this round. Okay, now for round 7, I like to put a little, and you might not be able to see because this yarn right here is pretty busy, but there's a little rim that kind of separates what I call the coaster from the actual cozy. So we have a coaster and then we have a cozy, and it kind of helps it work our way this direction. So we go from working this way to now, I guess it would be better this way. We go from working on the bottom, and now we're going to start working this direction. So I like putting a rim on it. So to do that, we're going to work, and we're still working in the same stitch as our chain here. We're going to work in, and I'm going to show you on this next one, but you're going to work right here in that first one. We're going to work in the back loop only, so not how we'd usually go under both of these. We're only going to go into the back loop, okay? So the back loop only, not the bottom, but the top. And we're only going to make a single crochet. So in the back loop only, we're going to make a single crochet. All the way around. Get some more yarn here. And that's going to cause our work to want to turn upwards now. And then I never worry about going into the back loop only when I do my slip stitch. I just go under both of them. Let's secure it that way. All right, and there's our little rim that's created. And it'll take you'll see the shape more once we add more rows. All right, so for rounds 8 and 9, we are simply just going to single crochet around, and it's just going to be a regular single crochet, not in the back loop only or anything like that. So for rounds 8 and 9, single crochet around. All right, so now for round 10, we're going to do our first increase. So we are going to put a single crochet in each of the first 17 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Okay, and then we will put one increase, and then 17 more single crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and then in our last stitch, you're going to put one more increase. And then put in your slip stitch and chain 1. And then rows 11 through 18, you're simply going to single crochet. So I'm going to pause my video here, and then I will work to row 18, and I will meet you back here. Okay, so I've worked my 18 rows, and now we're ready for round 19, and it is another increase row. So we're going to work 18 single crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and then we'll place an increase, and then 18 more single crochets. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18, and then a increase right there in our last stitch, and finish off the round with, yeah, their slip stitch and chain 1. All right, now for rows 20 through 22, we are simply going to put in single crochet rounds. So that was round 19. So do round 20, 21, and 22 in just a single crochet. All right, so we are now ready for round 23, and it's another increase row. So we're going to put in 19 single crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, then an increase, 19 more single crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. And then an increase in your last stitch. Finish off your round. All right. And this time, just round 24 and 25 will be your single crochet rounds. All right, so round 26 is another increase round, and we're now going to use 20 single crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and then increase, and then 20 more. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and increase in the last stitch. Finish off your round and chain 1. Okay, rounds 27 and 28 will be single crochet rounds. All right, so that was round 28. And so for round 29, we're going to put in 21 single crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, then our increase, followed by 21 more single crochets. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and an increase in your last stitch. Finish off your round. Okay, rounds 30 and 31 is a single crochet round. And I'm just going to test my cup here just to see how far along I am. It's looking pretty good. And so let's see, we're at 29. And I think this one may be about 38. So yeah, we've got a few more to go. All right, so work around 30 and 31 in single crochet, and we'll be back for round 32. Okay, so for round 32 will be our last set of increases. So we're going to single crochet 22 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. We'll place our increase, and then 22 more single crochets. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. And then an increase right there in your last stitch. Finish that off. And then chain 1. Okay, that was round 32. And I'm going to work mine, let me see. Let me find my last increase on this one. Looks like it was right there. So that would have been 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. Looks like I did 39. That was with the ending. And this is a different type of yarn, so I may go ahead and work this one to about 38 rows and just see where it's at by my cup, and then I'll be back to show you how to do the, I think they call this a reverse single crochet. I've been calling it a backward single crochet, but it makes this really cool kind of rope-like finish, and it's kind of stiff, and I just kind of, I think it cleans it up really nicely, so it's kind of cool. So yeah, all right. So we'll finish that up, and then I'll be back to show you how to finish it off. Okay. All right, so it only took me 37 rounds to get to the same length as the one that I had. And so for round 38, that's the one I'm going to use for the reverse single crochet, or the finishing round on my cozy. So this one takes a little bit of practice, but once you get it, you might want to use it on a lot of your pieces that, you know, I like to use them on washcloths and things like that I make. It did take me just a little bit of time to kind of get the hang of. Of course, you know, most single crochets we work, you know, going this way. The only difference is we're going to be working in the stitch behind each time. So just like we would going forwards, we're going to work in the same stitch as our chain for the first one. Let me see if I can get a better view in. Don't mind my dry fingertips because it is winter, and in my job, my full-time job that I have, I work in a clean room, and I wear gloves all the time and wash my hands constantly, so it's you know, it wreaks havoc on your hands. All right, so don't judge me. Okay, so there's our chain, and there is our stitch right there that we're going to work into. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of come behind here, and we're going to go into our stitch. Okay, now you're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull that loop up. Okay, and they're going to have 2 on, and then you're going to yarn over again, and you're going to kind of have to pull backwards through that, It's going to kind of make this little twist here, like that. Okay, and that is your stitch. Okay, I know, just stay with me. Okay, now we're going to go behind again, and we're going to find that second V, that second stitch. Okay, and we're going to go into it like so. Okay, and we're going to grab our yarn and we're going to pull it through, and we're going to pull it up like so, and yarn over, and we're going to pull through both of those like that. Now I do know sometimes it's tempting to kind of want to pull through like this, like kind of pull through that loop, but we'll do that for the finishing. So you go into the stitch that's behind you, and I guess your loop kind of lays underneath your stitches. You're going to grab that yarn and you're going to kind of swoop down, I guess. And you're going to bring up that loop, two on, yarn over, and pull through. You see this kind of cool little rope that's starting to make? Yarn over, pull up your two loops, yarn over, and pull through those two. And I do use my fingernail a lot to kind of guide my yarn where I want it to go. Otherwise, I'm all over the place. So it just takes me a second or two to kind of get it right on video for you guys, just because I'm so used to kind of holding my hands in a certain way to where I can see. Now I'm just trying to learn to do it to where I can see and to where I know that you can see as well. Pull that up, yarn over, and kind of pull your hook backwards like so. And once you get more of them, you can really start to see the detail. I love this stitch. And then once you get the hang of it, I mean, I thought I never would, trust me. I was like, I hate this stitch. I don't know why I keep trying. But I tell myself that, but then I'm like, you know what? I'm no quitter. I will get this stitch if it kills me. I may have to step away for a day or two or a week, you know, but I'll get it. Hang on a second, I keep stabbing myself with this paper. Let me get it out of my way. That's better, okay. And then it also took me a little bit to figure out how to finish it off. But I've got it figured out to where it looks like because if you notice when you do your when you don't use just the continuous round and you use the slip stitches, you have these little kind of bars, what I call them. I've actually got it figured out to where when we finish it off, we'll have one of those too. It kind of makes it look like it's just a continuation of that. So if you hear somebody talking in the background, that is my mother talking to her animals. So it's fine. Sort of. I think this finishing stitch definitely helps the cozy kind of hold its shape. I'm also writing a pattern for the ice cream pints, and I have some tags ordered for those that have little ice cream cones on them, and I think half of them have the ice cream cone and then half of them have words, I think, that say num num on them. So I'm excited about those, and I'll probably use this stitch on those cozies as well. So I'll definitely do a tutorial on those whenever I actually, I've got the pattern written, I'm just kind of waiting on the tags so I can put those in the video as well. Okay, finally coming to the end here. Those cozies will definitely not take as long to make as these, but these are so worth it, and I love my Starbucks. I really do. I keep my cozy in my car, because you never know when somebody's gonna bring me Starbucks, or I'm just gonna randomly stop. All right, so as you can see, my next stitch has that bar. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go in right under that bar right there, and I'm going to put in one more of these, except this time when I pull up a loop, I'm actually going to go through that loop this time instead of having it end up on my hook. Okay, and we're gonna just pull that up just like that. Okay, now if I can find my scissors, I'm going to cut this off and knock everything over in the process. All right, I'm gonna back this up just a bit. All right, now, as you can see, that's going to leave, it's going to look like we have another little bar there. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna thread my needle, like so, and then I'm going to take it through my loop here, and I'm going to pull it, and in the process just kind of fix that bar to kind of lay it flat. all the while kind of pulling that tight. To kind of just make it look like it's been finished, you know, just like all the rest of them. And then on this side, we're just going to weave in our ends. And I did too already while I was working on one of those rounds. I went ahead and weaved in my end on the magic ring because it was getting in my way. Alright, I'll just pull that down. And normally it looks neater than that, I don't know. But it's fine. I'm not gonna obsess. Alright, and just like so. There's that. And let's go ahead and put a tag on it. Just because they're so cute. And I just want to show you. And these things are really easy to come off. And, you know, that just makes it, you know, that much more easy to wash, too. So you don't want to wash it with your tag on. And I always make sure that the joining chains are in the back. Just like so. Put this one. And I just find a stitch to go through. Sometimes you gotta work for it just a little bit. Alright, and just like so. And then this part, we're going to put that part on there. Just like that. Screws on. And there you have it. So adorable. I love it. I'll probably go and post this one on my Etsy too, but more than likely I'll add this one to my collection, and then if somebody orders it, I'll just make them a new one. Yeah, I like the white and brown. It looks so cute. Yeah. Okay, we should go get Starbucks now. All right guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button, because I've got a lot of ideas and a lot of patterns to write. So all right, thanks. See you guys next time.